Welcome to the McHale Center on the campus of the University of Arizona. Second round action continues in the West region as Georgetown meets UNLV. Already. In game one this afternoon, Utah had to go double overtime to eliminate Michigan State 85-84, and now comes the matchup everyone's been waiting for. And welcome to Tucson, Arizona, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel. Top-ranked and unbeaten Nevada, Las Vegas comes in at 31-0, riding a 42-game winning streak and pursuing that undefeated season. Today, they meet the Hoyas of Georgetown University. I'm joined by Quinn Buckner, who was playing against that last team to repeat as champions, UCLA in 1973, the last team to go unbeaten on that Indiana team in 1976. Rate this UNLV team for me as far as your experience in college basketball is concerned.
Well, Greg, as far as my experience, when you're taking into consideration the athletic ability, the tenacity on defense, the competitiveness, they are the best group that I've ever seen to come out and play college basketball, bar none.
And, of course, they'll take their place in history if they go on and win this tournament. Now, as far as the head coaches, John Thompson and Jerry Tarkanian, we asked them their thoughts on today's game.
I think we'll try to get it inside, of course. I mean, that's no mystery to anybody because that's where our strength lies, is that we'll try to get it inside. And defensively, I think we've got to get back because in getting back defensively, transitionally, it's extremely important based on how they play. They get it out and get back, but you've got to avoid their pressure, too. They apply so much pressure, and based on a set of circumstances that are going, that's our main concern.
Well, I think there's really two ways you play Georgetown. One, the way most everybody has played them, and that's you drop off their guards and you jam it inside and make their perimeter people shoot from outside and try to tie up their inside people. And you know, we're going to be prepared to play that way because we can do that within our zone. But the other way is to go after them and pressure them and try to front the center and pick up their guards and play them real tough. And that's the way we play generally. That's the way the Rebels play. So we're prepared to play both ways.
Coach Tarkanian and Coach Thompson. Let's ask Coach Buckner. We know all about UNLV, Anderson Hunt and Greg Anthony and Larry Johnson and Stacey Augmon. How's Georgetown going to go about business today?
Well, I think it's important for Georgetown. The guards are the key here. They've got to handle that pressure. Importantly, they've got to get back and protect the defensive transition because if you don't, Mutombo and Mourning have got to run up and down the court. They can't do that the entire game.
Wondering about George Ackles, the starting center for UNLV. Injured his foot Friday. He will start. We'll update that for you in a moment when we come back to Tucson for starting lineups in the opening tap.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the second round of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by Mazda Cars and Trucks. Mazda, it just feels right. Pizza Hut and their new MVP 4-topping pizza. And by Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light. It doesn't get any better than this.
Matt?
Uh-huh.
Are you awake?
Yeah. Are you?
No. Matt, I never had a baby before.
Oh, me neither.
I'm happy. Are you?
Yeah. I'm a little scared, though.
You know, we'll need a bigger place.
Amy?
Yeah?
I love you.
Oh, Matt.
We'll be okay.
We will.
I promise.
Mass Mutual. We help you keep your promises.
This is how easy it is to collate a mailing on an IBM laser printer. And how easy is it to collate with our major competitor? Probably now isn't the best time to ask. IBM laser printers. Suddenly, nothing else measures up.
Perhaps you're losing a little money on annual credit card fees. Perhaps you should use the card that charges no annual fee. And keep your money where it belongs. It pays to discover.
The Denerex side feels like it's doing more because I feel something in my scalp. The Head and Shoulders side, I feel nothing at all.
Both have a dandruff ingredient, but Denerex adds an extra anti-itch medicine you can feel working.
There definitely was a difference with Denerex.
Like your dance. Hey, what's going on?
us on for Game 2 of the action here this afternoon. UNLV and Georgetown. The starting lineup looks like this. Alonzo Mourning and Robert Churchwell at forward. Dikembe Mutombo in the middle, and freshmen Harrison and Brown at the guards. UNLV, familiar names: Johnson, Augman, Ackles, Hunt, and Greg Anthony. The officials for this afternoon's game: Jim Bain from Mattoon, Illinois, Dave Baer from Lexington, Kentucky, and Dave Hall from Lakewood, Colorado. And there is George Ackles, injured after playing just 14 minutes on Friday night against Montana, when Montana guard Roger Fasting fell on his left foot, suffered a sprained foot. And here he is in the starting lineup. Jerry Tarkanian and UNLV have never beaten Georgetown in 5 tries, and we're underway.
Craig, I think early the shot fake is going to be important because everybody's going to be a little psyched up, and you may be able to get some fouls that have an effect at the end of the game.
Larry Johnson with a travel. Alonzo Mourning starts on Larry Johnson on defense.
Well, what John Thompson has done, he's anticipating that Johnson will play outside. Mourning with more agility can play out there. Should Johnson go on the block, Mutombo is better. You make him shoot over yourself being that big.
Everyone wants to know how these freshman guards for Georgetown will handle the defensive pressure that they'll get from Anderson Hunt. And there's the pass into Mutombo, blocked by Ackles. Anthony for Stacey Augman. Anthony for 3. Ackles the save. Johnson has it.
I think the guy that has to be controlled, I think, for the Georgetown, you've got to make Greg Anthony have somebody in front of him so he can't throw those long passes out.
Mutombo with a hand in the face of Ackles, and Mourning grabbed the rebound. Baseline. Shot is off. Follow is good by Brown. And they get Harrison, Charles Harrison. And Georgetown is on top.
That's what they're doing. Brown is up, so Anthony just can't get the ball and look down on the 2 lanes. Augman and Hunt run the lane. This way they've got pressure on Anthony.
Augman. Harrison from Mutombo. Georgetown by 4. Johnson rejected by Mourning.
He's going to get it rejected, but the one thing about Larry Johnson, he'll keep coming back with it, but you've got to deal with Mourning and Mutombo. They're big, they're strong, the agility here. You beat one, you got to get by the other.
Greg Anthony out of the corner for 2. UNLV's first bucket of the game in 5 shots. And it's 4-2 Hoyas. And the whistle out front on Greg Anthony. Jerry Tarkanian, 60 years old, 30 years of coaching in the college ranks, his 23rd year in Division I, and his 18th at UNLV.
Greg just had an outstanding coaching career. You can see by the number of wins and by the percentage, 82% of your games, that is outstanding. I don't care how you cut it. Coming out of that out of bounds, you see all of a sudden they go into their call it amoeba defense. A little bit of a matchup. You can throw it across the top, but this is the shot you got to make. Over the top, you got to make that one.
Harrison doesn't get it. Chased down by Anthony, and a foul is called on Alonzo Mourning. Number 1 on Mourning. Georgetown arrives here with a 70-60 victory over Vanderbilt Friday. UNLV beat Montana 99-65.
They switched up and they got Mutombo trying to guard Johnson. He can do it.
Johnson lost the handle, scramble for the ball, and the possession arrow favors Georgetown.
Mutombo can guard him, Greg, because Mutombo is smart enough, and he hasn't played a lot of basketball, to give you some room and let his height be a problem for you, and then he can recover.
And he traveled, carried the ball. There's John Thompson, who told you, Quint, how delighted he is to be coaching in this game.
Any coach, anybody that is competitive, you want to be in this kind of game. And if you want to know what I'd like to play against these guys with the guys I play with, no question about it. I'll take my chances.
Augman all the way across to Larry Johnson. Ackles open at the free throw line.
Big bucket there. Now Mutombo cannot stay in the paint. He's got to come out and guard him.
Ackles showing no ill effects of the injury from Friday night yet. Brown. And over the back, the foul is going to be on. It looks like Alonzo Mourning. No, it's on Dikembe Mutombo.
That time, Joey Brown got himself, he took a tough shot. To go in there and take a leaner is too difficult. Nobody's expecting it, not able to rebound. That's how Mutombo gets the foul, trying to recover and rebound at the same time.
Anderson Hunt off the mark. Tapped out of bounds. Foul on Ackles.
For Anderson Hunt, that's a different kind of shot than he normally has to take. He normally catches and shoots the basketball. Georgetown trailing around the pick, forcing Hunt to shoot on the move.
Georgetown has not shot the ball well from outside all season long, but had an excellent night shooting the ball from the perimeter on Friday.
And John Thompson laughed about it when I talked with him. He said it was great. He enjoys seeing these young people play the game and shoot the perimeter shot.
Mutombo. Did he travel? He did. Got more action coming up on CBS Sports next week in East Rutherford. The teams are set. Carolina, Eastern Michigan, Oklahoma State, and Temple. Stacey Augman had it partially blocked.
Well, that's a matchup that I would be concerned about if I'm Jerry Tarkanian.
Churchwell. Mutombo is there.
Oh.
6-4 Georgetown. Anthony pushing it back and is fouled on the move by Joey Brown.
I talked about the matchup. You got Churchwell guarding Augman. That's one that you've got to be worried about. Augman with a height advantage.
Mutual reassurances under the basket. We'll take a timeout with 15:42 to play here in the first half.
In trying to make an artistic statement, one should be careful not to let one's personal aroma do the talking. In order not to offend the critics, I recommend Right Guard Sports Stick. It provides maximum protection and the freshest scents, a sublime palette of odoriferous emanations. After all, a true artiste should be remembered for his inspiration, not his perspiration. Right Guard Sports Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Oldsmobile, official car for NCAA championships, calls this timeout to tell you about the other game in town. The Oldsmobile Drive to the Final Four Cellathon. At your old dealer, you can get a great deal on every new 1991 Oldsmobile. In addition to the terrific values, you'll also have a shot at winning hundreds of prizes like a new Cutlass Supreme or a large screen TV. Hey, with deals like this, you can't miss.
Now, United brings you the new World's Fair. Low fares to almost anywhere United and United Express fly. $69 to $159 to anywhere in the continental U.S. Hawaii from $149. Plus great low fares to Europe and Asia. Buy your ticket by April 8th and travel between now and May 19th. Seats are limited and significant restrictions apply. So call your travel agent or United now for our new World's Fair. Come fly the friendly skies.
There are two ways to take you out of the fast break. One is offensive rebound baskets right here, like you let Mutombo in. Nobody put a body on him. The other way is that Georgetown has been pressuring Anthony so he can't just rush the ball up and he can't make the quick outlet passes.
15:42 to play, 6-4 Georgetown. And from behind, Joey Brown thought he had the steal. He was whistled for the foul.
He's got 2 fouls, and he's the point guard. He's a tough character, and that is something that will really cause Georgetown problems if Joey Brown has to go out of the game for any prolonged period of time.
And number 34, Lamont Morgan, is going to check in, a 6'3" freshman from Washington, D.C. And the steal. Morgan trying to pass. Ackles kicked it out of bounds. It's Georgetown basketball.
But you got to love it. Come off the bench and make a play like that. You lose your starting point guard. You get Morgan come in and make a good play.
John Thompson was saying that you have to go out and go right at him and play the game. And you and I were talking in the break, Quinn. Georgetown shows no fear of UNLV.
These are kids who play in Washington, D.C., Baton Rouge, Louisiana. They play against tough competition. And when you grow up like that, if you don't play in tough games like this, you'll get run off the court.
Whistle in the middle. And this looks like Larry Johnson. It is. Number 1 on Johnson. Trying to keep Alonzo Mourning from getting position.
Mourning is such a formidable opponent down there. You see Larry Johnson trying to push Alonzo Mourning out. He got him out, but it looked like a little extra effort, and I think Alonzo kind of helped the official with a little more movement than he normally has.
There's a bad inbounds pass, and Anderson Hunt tracks it down and puts it up.
Turnovers will be a big factor in this game. Got to protect the basketball, value that ball.
We are tied at 6. To the baseline, Churchwell shot off the rim. Larry Johnson had it, lost it, and lost it again. Morgan for Mourning. The Hoyas have more than just a little support this afternoon here in Tucson in the stands.
World's Fair. Come fly the friendly skies.
There are 2 ways to take you out of the fast break. One is offensive rebound baskets right here, like you let Mutombo in. Nobody put a body on him. The other way is that Georgetown has been pressuring Anthony so he can't just rush the ball up and he can't make the quick outlet passes.
15:42 to play, 6-4 Georgetown. And from behind, Joey Brown thought he had the steal. He was whistled for the foul.
He's got 2 fouls, and he's the point guard. He's a tough character, and that is something that will really cause Georgetown problems if Joey Brown has to go out of the game for any prolonged period of time.
And number 34, Lamont Morgan, is going to check in, a 6'3" freshman from Washington, D.C. And the steal. Morgan trying to pass. Ackles kicked it out of bounds. It's Georgetown basketball.
But you got to love it. Come off the bench and make a play like that. You lose your starting point guard. You get Morgan come in and make a good play.
John Thompson was saying that you have to go out and go right at him and play the game. And you and I were talking in the break, Quinn. Georgetown shows no fear of UNLV.
These are kids who play in Washington, D.C., Baton Rouge, Louisiana. They play against tough competition. And when you grow up like that, if you don't play in tough games like this, you'll get run off the court.
Whistle in the middle. And this looks like Larry Johnson. It is. Number 1 on Johnson. Trying to keep Alonzo Mourning from getting position.
Mourning is such a formidable opponent down there. You see Larry Johnson trying to push Alonzo Mourning out. He got him out, but it looked like a little extra effort, and I think Alonzo kind of helped the official with a little more movement than he normally has.
There's a bad inbounds pass, and Anderson Hunt tracks it down and puts it up.
Turnovers will be a big factor in this game. Got to protect the basketball, value that ball.
We are tied at 6. To the baseline, Churchwell shot off the rim. Larry Johnson had it, lost it, and lost it again. Morgan for Mourning. The Hoyas have more than just a little support this afternoon here in Tucson in the stands. Hunt for 3.
Oh, teardrop.
Oh, teardrop. UNLV by 1.
Hunt's going to lose that ball. Morgan will lose that ball because Hunt is a good man defensive player.
And travel on Mourning. Had trouble controlling it and called for the travel. Into the lineup, number 40, Brian Kelly for Georgetown. And number 50, Pascal Fleury, a 7'2" freshman from St. Jean Richelieu, Canada.
What John Thompson is trying to do here is give his troops a break because Nevada, Las Vegas plays their players. Their starting five, they play the majority of the game. John Thompson has been making a lot of substitutions, keeping fresh people in that game.
Elmore Spencer has replaced George Ackles. And this is Augman. Spencer had it rejected by Mutombo. Kelly tries to save, and Anderson Hunt has it. Augman into the lane. Nice shot by Stacey Augman. His first basket of the game. 11-8 UNLV.
Georgetown cannot afford to get too far behind because that's the one place they really struggle, is trying to get quick baskets.
Greg Anthony all over Joey Brown. Morgan for Mutombo. Short hook.
Tough shot. Good defense.
Anthony on the run. Will keep it.
Oh, takes it to Mutombo.
And UNLV getting a little momentum here. 13:05 to play, first half.
Premieres Tuesday, March 26th.
The thing that happens right here, Joey Brown jumps, and I talked about pressure on the ball. He's the one that makes the mistake. Mutombo go take the ball at him, make him expose himself to foul.
UNLV has scored 7 straight and leads 13-8. Mourning lost it. Here comes Anderson Hunt. Hunt's going to keep it. And the foul is on Mourning. Battling Stacey Augman for the rebound. That's 2 on Mourning.
Well, I think you've got to play this game as aggressively as you can. Hunt takes a tough shot because Mutombo makes him take one. The ball comes back, and you'll see Mourning just rake backwards. And in his effort to knock the ball down, he knocks down Stacey Augman and gets his second foul. You cannot afford to play any period of time longer than a minute and a half without Mutombo and Mourning because you don't get any offensive rebounds, and that slows down the fast break if you get them.
Larry Johnson for 3. And Spencer with the board.
Georgetown needs to get a good shot at the basket. They've come down, turned it over. There was a run by UNLV. This is where you want to be patient and get it in.
Mutombo and the double team down on them. And the whistle and the foul is on Spencer.
Spencer came in the game pretty quick here because of George Ackles' injury. The question I would have with Spencer coming in early, will he have the stamina to play in a prolonged period of time? Because he hadn't had to do that because Ackles normally gives him a good break, something Jerry Tarkanian has to take into consideration.
You also thought an injury like Ackles to his foot, that he might be all right early in the game, but it might be tougher for him as the game progressed.
Well, the question is, when he sits down, will it cool off? That's where you have to worry about it. And so if you're Jerry Tarkanian, you make sure he warms up, or otherwise he injures it again.
Joey Brown, 3-pointer. Off the mark, Spencer rebounds and throws it away.
That's a little bit of frustration of not getting the break before. Spencer's a little anxious.
Brown gets Hunt in the air and throws it up and will go to the line. That's pretty good play for a freshman.
Greg, I'm telling you, they're going to play. What you hope is that they play and make as few mistakes as possible. But I can guarantee you this, Jerry Tarkanian's crew is not going to back down. And when you talk about teams being great, what they have to be able to do is to make adjustments. And they've got a challenge here because they got 2 people inside, Mutombo and Mourning, and the young Joey Brown. And Brown gets going outside. You know what you can get inside with Mourning and Mutombo.
13-9, and that breaks the UNLV run of 7 straight points.
Combo got called for violation. He got it called twice yesterday. Lane violation, and he gets called for it again. He gets anxious to get in to try to get a rebound, and he stepped over the line. They disallowed a free throw for the lane violation.
11.5 to play, first half. 13-9, UNLV. And Brian Kelly on Larry Johnson.
That's a mismatch.
This to Spencer, who lost it out of bounds.
You know, that's why Ackles is better in the game, because he's more active. He's got better hands. Larry Johnson can beat Kelly. He can take him on the block, or he can beat him.
George Ackles, number 44, having his foot tended to. 5 turnovers for UNLV. Georgetown's turned it over 6 times. Sure, Greg Anthony tries to save it. It's out of bounds, and it belongs to Georgetown.
John Thompson is trying to shorten the game, Greg. By that I mean that was a semi-stall. They're not trying to push it up or anything like that. They're going to make the Rebels play defense for 40 seconds. Is what they were trying to do in that sequence.
Spencer on Mutombo.
And Jerry Tarkanian recognized and sent his team into their amoeba matchup zone.
Churchwell going to take the 2 and wasn't ready to take that shot.
You're absolutely right. He took it as an afterthought.
Harrison, nice feed to Mutombo.
One dribble into the other side for the little easy hoop.
13-11 UNLV.
You got to get the ball on the block to Johnson with Kelly on him.
Spencer on Mutombo. Johnson with the rebound. And Mutombo may have gotten a piece of that. Larry Johnson right back, and the foul.
See, there's no way that Brian Kelly can guard Larry Johnson. He's too quick, agile. See, Johnson gets it here, shoots it, knows he missed it, the ball gets tipped, he gets it right back, and he goes at Mutombo, gets away a little bit with an offensive foul with the right arm. They call Mutombo for the foul.
That's 2 on Dikembe Mutombo. He takes a seat on the bench, and Alonzo Mourning returns. So that's 2 on Mourning, 2 on Mutombo, and we still have 10-15 to play in the first half.
I believe Pascal Fleury is going to need a little more time than he has been accustomed to for that reason.
I'd say that there was a lane violation there. Charles Harrison was in the lane long before the ball arrived.
Greg, what happens is when you watch Larry Johnson, he takes an unnatural motion. He goes up, he pauses, and then he shoots the ball.
This is the McHale Center second round play in West Region. And UNLV with a 4-point lead over Georgetown. 5 points. 3 for Larry Johnson today.
UNLV able to play at this pace at this moment. The guards of Georgetown turned it over a little more than you need them to. They've got to stay patient. They can get it inside.
And there's a takeaway from Hunt. And Harrison gets it back, almost lost it. Harrison for 3. Churchwell down the lane, tried to dish it off. Kelly has it. And a traveling violation. Neither team actually burning it up from outside, and the rebounds are close as well. Meanwhile, Greg Anthony right back and off the glass.
That's where they'll get you the most. They take the ball out of bounds, and Kelly just runs right over Greg Anthony. But where UNLV will get you is coming right back after the ball is taken out on the baseline. And this is about taunting. This is a taunting warning right here to Greg Anthony because he's been doing this the entire game. Now, as he goes back, there's a little war, a little taunting right there, and then he stands there to take the pick. And then Kelly, that's not right. You can't run the kid over. You cannot do that.
Meanwhile, UNLV had a little huddle, and for a while it included referee Jim Bain.
And the reason that he got into the huddle was to tell Greg Anthony the taunting and the baiting is not allowed. It's something that is a point of emphasis for the officials this year.
18-11, UNLV with the lead, and Anthony to the free throw line. And Ronnie Thompson, the son of head coach John Thompson, checks into the Georgetown lineup for Harrison.
good all-around player, Greg. He can hit the jump shot. And what Coach Thompson is trying to do is calm Charles Harrison down because he's taking a shot out of rhythm, you know, throwing the ball away. Just calm him down.
John Thompson, his team set an NCAA record for field goal defense this year, 36.8%.
Well, that's why when we had the summary a moment ago, Greg, it's not surprising to me because UNLV is 7th in the country in defensive field goal percentage. So both clubs play good defense, and that's why the percentages are down.
UNLV on a 7-point run. Anthony with the steal. Oh, what a shot. What a shot. 10 points for Anthony, a 9-point run, and they've doubled up the score on Georgetown. It's 22-11. Rejected by Spencer. 2-on-1. Hunt gonna keep it. John Thompson says, slow it down.
Greg, I talked about the athletic ability and the basketball ability. We just seen 2 instances of it. It's quickness, anticipation. And that's how UNLV gets its spurts.
Brown misses. Augman rebound. And Anthony will waste no time. Oh, Anderson Hunt all alone. And Augman. Whoa. 26-11.
So they're quick to the ball. I mean, these things that you just don't see every day. I've seen very few teams ever get to the ball, the rebound, even when it hits the ground.
13 straight points for the Rebels. That's a long three. Wow.
I want to tell you, that is a lot of confidence because I agree with that. That's a very long three there.
Mutombo has the offensive boards, and they'll start over again.
They're going to force the guards to beat him.
Ronnie Thompson to the baseline. And that breaks the 13-point run by the Rebels.
And well, you should. If you're Jerry Tarkanian, you force the guards to shoot the basketball, make decisions.
.20 to play first half.
Georgetown in a bit of a matchup of their own.
Anthony puts it up.
Tough shot. He never had control of the ball. That's the pressure.
And Anthony right back after the ball.
John Thompson is trying to control this game and doing a good job, mind you, getting across the half-court line. He is telling Joey Brown to hold it up. He's running the offense from there. Now, that's good because now it gives these youngsters a chance to look at this zone, back away from it, instead of having the pressure all on you trying to make a decision. They got 16 seconds on the shot clock.
Brown tried to get it down low to Mutombo, batted out of bounds. We'll take a timeout with 6:23 to play and come back to Tucson in a moment.
The Women's Final Four in 2 weeks.
Grand Prix, Coop. Say your status. Climbing through 10,000 feet, heading 1904. Switching to frequency modulation. Anti-lock brakes operational. Head up, locked on. Fuel injected V6, powered up. Yeah, roger, Grand Prix. You're looking good.
Ready for some good news? If your car is in an accident and you have Allstate insurance, you can leave it in our hands. Allstate's recommended pro shops can do everything, including the estimate, in one stop. And to make you feel even better,
Allstate will guarantee their workmanship for as long as you own your car. Well, that's the news. Now, be careful. You're in good hands with Allstate, a member of the Sears Financial Network.
When you're 5'8" and 140 pounds, you don't play a power game. You use your head, your ground strokes, and my secret weapon, speed. That's why I picked the pump from Reebok. When I'm pumped up, I get support, protection, and a custom fit. So if you want to beat those rock and roll tennis guys, pump up and air out.
Switch to the greatest sports performance shoe in the world, the Reebok Pump. Pump up and air out.
All right, UNLV has doubled the score on Georgetown. Let's get out quickly to Atlanta and get a look at Arizona State, Arkansas, where the Sun Devils have run off 7 unanswered points to come within 5. Here's Brad Nessler and Mimi Griffin.
But he missed the layup. Wheeler for 3. Miller may have gotten away with a walk there. It's getting a little ragged right now. And it will be Arkansas ball. The officials discussing it. Let's see if we have something overturned. We do. Arizona State ball. Second round of the Southeast region in Atlanta, Georgia. Brad Nessler and Mimi Griffin here watching Arkansas and Arizona State in quite a tussle. 7-point Arkansas lead. The #1 seeded Razorbacks of Nolan Richardson. They've got their sights set on the Final Four again this year, where they lost to Duke last year, 97-83. They want to go back. But they've got to get by the young upstart Sun Devils of Bill Frieder.
I don't know if Nolan Richardson ever expected this young Arizona State team to come at Arkansas the way they have. They haven't just played good basketball. They played aggressive, in-your-face offense and defense.
And boy, what an experience for the Sun Devils. If they do lose this will make them a tremendous team to get ready for next year. Fontana. And Wallace clears it off for the Razorbacks. Bowers on top. Guarded by Smith, who's playing with 4 personal fouls. Bowers alone, baseline. 12 for Bowers. There's your shooting.
And you can see how poorly Arkansas has been shooting in the second half. We talked about fatigue, Brad, but I think it's a factor for both of these teams, especially in Arkansas' shot selection, and their shots, a lot of them are coming up short, and that's a definite sign of fatigue.
And Wallace picks up a foul. Other scores from earlier today in second-round play as everybody heads to the Sweet 16 next week. Still a couple of spots open. Nolan Richardson thinks his Razorbacks are going to be one of those spots. And Bill Frieder and his team somehow pull off an upset. They trail by 9 right now.
I'm looking at this and I'm thinking
60 minutes tonight. UNLV is one of only 3 teams to beat Nolan Richardson's Razorbacks this year. Would he like another shot at him?
If I had one more crack at UNLV, that would only tell me one thing, that I was in the final 2. And boy, that would be the greatest feelings I think that I would have at this point in college basketball.
You bet he would. In his 6th season at Arkansas. And every year it's gotten better. Every year it's been more victories. And right now he's just 5 minutes and 54 seconds away from seeing his team go on to the Sweet 16.
Brad, the thing that has to be a concern to him, we haven't seen Arkansas play for an extended period of time with the fire in their eyes that they need to make the Final Four. They certainly didn't do it in the first-round game against Georgia State. We've seen glimpses of it today, but not for the entire game. And unless they can sustain that for 40 minutes, I don't think they'll make the Final Four.
Faulkner with 28 points. Oliver Miller right there has 17. Another big day for the big fella. Faulkner buries them both. He's got 29 to go with 8 rebounds. And you've got to love the Sun Devils. They still trail by 7, but it's almost like somebody boxing Mike Tyson. You can't believe they're still here.
All right, we're going to get you back to Arizona State, Arkansas at halftime of Georgetown UNLV. The Hoyas have just scored a couple of buckets, one by Churchwell, one by Thompson. Let's go back to Greg and Quinn.
Those of you just rejoining us here in Tucson, welcome back. 3:20 to play first half, 26-17 UNLV. Ronnie Thompson with a jumper at the timeout. And the pass to Stacey Augmon underneath doesn't fall. Alonzo Mourning comes down with it.
But Greg, I was saying before the timeout, UNLV does not get the kind of competition that can keep you real sharp in the Big West. There are a couple teams in there that do, but because of that, the question has to be, when they play in a tight game, how far back in your memory do I have to go to remember what it's like to stick those free throws when it's on the line?
This is the topic of conversation that came up in our discussions last night. Would UNLV have gone through a couple of the other conferences in the country undefeated this season?
It would have been pretty hard to do, to get through the Big Ten, the Big East, you know, the Pac-10, some of the ACC. That would have been very difficult to do.
Ronnie Thompson, again.
That's a hoop now, and I mean a hoop, a big one, because now you got to come out and pressure him. He can dump inside.
And Georgetown has scored 8 straight points and closed to 26-19.
And the zone forces UNLV to the perimeter.
George Ackles back into the lineup, missed the shot. Augmon. And the whistle and the foul, and it's on Ackles. That's number 2 on Ackles.
The thing you've got to be concerned about anytime you play Georgetown, you watch Stacey Augmon. He hadn't had to do that much. He had to double clutch that with Mutombo and Mourning on the other side. Those are the kind of things that you don't get to face as you go through the Big West, because there's nobody in that conference that has anybody like Mutombo and Mourning. Matter of fact, nobody in America plays with 2 guys that big.
Georgetown enjoying a pretty good run over the last 5 and a fraction minutes.
Got the game at their pace too, Greg.
Mourning all the way across. Around the lob from Mutombo. Couldn't get it up. No call underneath, and here comes UNLV. Spencer. Elmore Spencer.
Jerry Tarkanian had stole 7.5 minutes or so with Spencer in the game. Ackles sitting down. He is determined that Ackles is not giving him enough, so he puts Spencer back in the game. Spencer makes a big hoop for them, but they were all of a sudden losing their momentum on the offensive end.
Minute 20 for the half. 28-19. Rebels. 42-game winning streak. Last time they lost, February 26th of last year at UC Santa Barbara. The score was 78-70.
I happened to do that game, Greg, and one of the things that really happened to UNLV was offensive rebounds gave them a big problem.
Mourning for 3. And John Thompson says slow it down. And we're under a minute to play for the half.
I talked about offensive rebounds, and they get one right there. Those things, that can be frustrating for the defensive end of UNLV. Now, here's something I talked to Jerry Tarkanian about. He doesn't really like this defense he's in because it makes his team least aggressive of all. He had talked about coming out and getting Georgetown. Georgetown has handled that pressure, so he's decided to back off.
Shot clock on the left, game clock on the right. Hook shot by Mutombo doesn't go. Rebound, Stacey Augmon. And that is 3 on Alonzo Mourning.
First of all, you get the shot that you don't need. Mutombo takes a tough one. You got to get him down lower. And Mourning tries to come down, get the rebound, gets his third. Now he's got to get a break here with 9 seconds to go. You see Stacey Augmon. This is what makes him a great player. I mean, watch him just attack this thing. I mean, he's going to get it, and Mutombo and Mourning are both there. Mourning gets his 3rd foul. Kelly has to come in to replace him.
Number 23, Everett Gray, now into the lineup for UNLV. And Larry Johnson will sit down.
Jerry Tarkanian protecting against the foul against his star as well. Everett Gray, pretty good shooter.
9 seconds on the clock. 5 points for Stacey Augmon today. And a 10-point lead for UNLV. Out of bounds and belongs to Georgetown. 7.5 seconds to do something.
I'm confused because I couldn't figure out when is over back, not a foul.
This is Ronnie Thompson.
They can get it off. Oh,
Brown had it blocked by Elmore
Spencer.
And that is the end of the first half with the score. UNLV 29 and Georgetown 19. And CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA basketball championship continues right after this.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the second round of the NCAA basketball championship is sponsored by Pontiac and your local Pontiac dealer. We build excitement. Allstate for home, auto, life, and business insurance. You're in good hands with Allstate. And by the employee owners of Avis. We're trying harder than ever.
It begins with the efficiency of sequential poured fuel injection. It flows through a power plant cradled in fluid-filled mountings, and it manifests itself in the precision of Bonneville's fully independent suspension. This is advanced technology you can feel. This is full-sized excitement from Pontiac. This is Bonneville.
Lots of men have heard about minoxidil. And lots of men have heard about Rogaine. But lots of men don't know that only Rogaine has minoxidil. And only your doctor can prescribe Rogaine. For more information, call this number now.
If you're wondering whether Rogaine is for you, call this number, and we'll give you an incentive to find out. A certificate worth $10 toward a consultation visit with your doctor. Call 1-800-556-4800.
During the Final Four, satisfy everyone with the new Pizza Hut MVP Pizza with 4 of your favorite toppings. Pepperoni, Italian sausage, mushrooms, and green peppers. Get one for $7.99 and a second for just $4 more in delivery and carry out only. Pizza Hut, making it great.
When you're the owner, you've got to give a lot more.
Avis is the only major rent-a-car company owned by its employees, so they'll give you more than low rates. You get free unlimited mileage, too. Avis, we're trying harder than ever.
He's on the run from outlaws who killed his family, but is a mysterious drifter his only hope. Rick Schroeder and Wilford Brimley, Blood River, tonight.
Crime time after prime time is coming. 5 different shows, 5 different nights. So intense, they can only be shown after hours. Premiering Tuesday, April 2nd on CBS Late Night. It's too hot to sleep.
10-point lead in Tucson for the defending national champions. 2 minutes left in Atlanta, and a 10-point lead for Arkansas against Arizona State. Let's join Brad and Mimi, Arkansas, with the basketball.
Second round Southeast region in Atlanta. A 10-point Arkansas lead is the #1 team in this region. Has really had a dogfight on their hands with the Sun Devils of Arizona State. A 10-point game.
Story right now is fatigue for Arizona State, Brad. They did a tremendous job of sticking with this Arkansas team the entire game after a slow start. But what's happening now with the furious pace of this game, Arizona State is definitely slowing down.
And again, Arizona State in the dark red has hit a serious cold spell in their field goal shooting. This is their big guy, the freshman Faulkner.
You know,
one for the last 17.
Fatigue rears its ugly head not just on the defensive end, but on the offensive end as well, with a lot of your shots coming up short.
Arkansas, impressive in that they have 96 points, but not as impressive as they were, I don't think, on Friday, Mimi.
No, this Arkansas team just wears you down. That's their game plan, but I'll go back to a point that I mentioned earlier, Brad, and I don't see the fire in their eyes right now. Maybe they'll pick it up the next time they move on.
Game summary, you see how cold Arizona State has gone. And the 4 fouls of Day and Uri not a major factor right now. But the Sun Devils have got to score, and they have only one field goal in their last 17 tries. Devin Smith. Still hanging in, a 7-point game with a minute to play. And a foul on Smith, and that will be all for him. He's going to leave with 11 points and 7 assists. And he will be a force to be reckoned with in the Pac-10 for years to come. But his day is done in Atlanta. Devin Smith is fouled out. Coordinating producer of NCAA basketball on CBS Sports is Bob Dekas. Today's Southeast Region second-round game was produced by Rick Lasavita, directed by Artie Kempner. The Road to the Final Four was produced by David Winter and Eric Mann and directed by Duke Struck. The senior producer of CBS Sports is Ed Gorin, and executive producer of CBS Sports is Ted Shaker. I want to thank everybody in the studio for all their hard work and long hours, and our crew here in Atlanta have been brilliant, and we have had some kind of fun for 6 games in 2 days. But it looks like Arkansas is going to the Sweet 16. 96-89.
Brad, this Arkansas team, as we said, isn't absolutely impressive, but their intensity level needs to pick up just a notch for them to be able to make the Final Four once again. I'll tell you, this is a team to reckon with in the future, though. Nobody expected them to play Arkansas the way they've played them today.
Bill Frieder said, I said as little as I could to this young team about the fact that this is an NCAA tournament game. He said, I just didn't bring it up in my vocabulary, let them play like a normal game and have some fun because we weren't supposed to be here anyway. And not only were they here, they won their first-round game over Rutgers, but it looks like Arkansas is going to move on. And I'm telling you what, put on the track shoes and get out of the way for Alabama and Arkansas next week because it will be something to watch.
Two teams that love the up-tempo game, but Arkansas is a little bit bulkier than that Alabama team.
Ike Austin hammered underneath with 24 seconds to go. Our Chevrolet players of the game in this one, Jamal Faulkner for Arizona State. What a brilliant game the freshman had as he had a career high. And Oliver Miller, who asked me after the game the other day, who was your MVP? I said, you were. Now he's got 2 of those to take home with him.
He had a big smile on his face, too, didn't he, Brad?
He sure did. Jamal Faulkner. And just think of what he is going to do in the next few years for Arizona State and Bill Frieder. One of the best freshmen in the country, and we've seen some good freshmen here, including James Robinson of Alabama and Rodney Rogers of Wake Forest and Jamal Faulkner. What a team you could start just with those 3. Coming up in Charlotte next week, the #1 seed, the Razorbacks against Alabama, and then it'll be Kansas and Indiana, champs from 87 and 88 respectively. And quite a next round that'll be in Charlotte, North Carolina. Faulkner with a foul in the backcourt. Who do you like next week in Charlotte, Mimi?
I like Indiana, to be honest with you. Watching Arkansas play the way they are, unless they pick up their intensity, I don't see them going out and making the Final Four.
I tell you what, Nolan Richardson will put them back to work this week, and if they didn't have the fire in their eyes in this particular region here in Atlanta, they'll have it next week, or he'll want the answers why. Bill Frieder's been a blast to be around the last few days here in Atlanta, too. You know, Jim Robkin, the 6th man, the van director for the Razorbacks, he'll be going to Charlotte to lead the cheers. Final seconds here in Atlanta. UNLV and Georgetown will be coming up. Wheeler way outside, no good. Mimi, we have had some fun. I see you at the Final Four for the women in New Orleans. Because that's going to do it from Atlanta. And the Razorbacks of Arkansas, the #1 seed, a winner. They struggled, but they won it by 7. And Nolan Richardson can smile, Jim Nance. There's Ron Gurry, super sub, super 6th man of the Razorbacks. And all top 4 seeds from the Southeast head on to the regional semifinals in Charlotte. Once more, let's go through the scores quickly. North Carolina forced 21 Villanova turnovers.
Moving on to the Sweet 16 once more. Eastern Michigan a winner in overtime in the East. So North Carolina and Eastern Michigan will be playing at the Meadowlands on Friday. In Southeast play, Alabama won earlier at that site in Atlanta. Alabama had 3 players score 21 points, and the Crimson Tide, with that 96-88 victory over Wake Forest, advances. And next up, of course, will be Arkansas, the victory you just saw. Utah, and first let's look at the Southeast bracket, Mike.
Really, 1, 2, 3, 4 get through. Arkansas or Alabama, you couldn't have a better regional matchup than that. In Kansas and Indiana, champs in the late 80s, and Bob Knight back in the regional.
All right, in the West, Utah, double overtime victory over Michigan State, 85-84. 17 lead changes in that game. And in the West bracket now, Utah will face the winner of the UNLV-Georgetown game we're enjoying. Seton Hall and Arizona got set yesterday. In the Midwest, Ohio State over Georgia Tech, 65-61. Perry Carter with 18 rebounds. And St. John's wins also in the Midwest over Texas by 8. St. John's and Ohio State will be playing in the Midwest semifinals, regional semifinals. UConn against Duke. That's an East Regional final matchup rematch of a year ago. And let's remind everyone that Thursday night our coverage will continue on CBS with a doubleheader. It'll be the regional semifinals for the Southeast and the West. And on Friday, 4 more games coming your way, the East and the Midwest regional semifinals exclusively right here on CBS. We'll get you back, UNLV and Georgetown, for the second half as we continue on the road to the Final Four.
Welcome back to Tucson, everyone. Greg Gumbel along with Quinn Buckner. UNLV leading it by 10 at halftime. And the problem for Georgetown, Quinn, Alonzo Mourning with 3 personals.
Well, that's going to hurt him going here. And he's starting the second half, but he won't be as aggressive because he knows this club cannot play well without him.
Let's get a quick word from Leslie Visser. Leslie?
Greg, George Ackles had his foot retaped. He said it's a little bit sore. He is going to play. He says he hopes that Mutombo just doesn't step on it. Greg?
We'd rather that Dikembe didn't hit our way either. Thank you, Leslie. Larry Johnson missed a 3, and Georgetown with a chance to cut into a 10-point lead now. They start the same 5. Churchwell, Brown, Harrison, Mutombo, and Mourning. Brown down deep, and Ackles rejects it. We talked about how outside shooting would be a key in this game, and you kind of expected it from Georgetown, but UNLV has had its problems.
Well, if you're talking about UNLV having problems, Georgetown, remember, is the best in terms of field goal percentage defensive club in the country. They will pressure every shot. That's why UNLV is struggling, and they haven't seen this kind of pressure before.
UNLV also with the same starting 5. Anderson, Hunt, Greg Anthony in the backcourt. Ackles, Larry Johnson, and Stacey Augmon up front.
Now let's remember what what UNLV is capable of doing. They came out and exploded on Arkansas after having a slow start in the first half.
Good look inside by Charles Harrison. He found Dikembe Mutombo, 29-21, as Georgetown draws first blood in the second half. We are early in the second half, and that's a traveling violation on Greg Anthony. Georgetown got off to the quick start in this game, and it looked for a while, Quinn, as if UNLV had trouble finding its game.
Well, I think they had to get accustomed to playing against the 2 people inside, Mutombo and Mourning. They did that. They got a slight spurt. And then John Thompson slowed the game down, which is more of the pace that Georgetown wants to play, but UNLV doesn't. But great teams can play at any pace. We'll see if UNLV can do it.
George Ackles, a question mark as the game began, did start, then sat out some 7.5 minutes to 8 minutes as he had his foot retaped. It was stepped on 2 nights ago. Brown gets away and almost got it home. Ackles guilty of the foul. That's a pretty good effort by Joey Brown, and that's 3 personals on George Ackles.
The thing that I've said about the freshman is that, you see right here, he's got Ackles in the air. The one thing that Ackles surely doesn't want to happen is somebody to come down on his foot. He's got 3 fouls. But I said, now, Joey Brown, Churchill, and Harrison are considered first-year players, and I mean it by this. They now see decisions, and they can make them and make the right ones. Early in the year, they knew that a decision needed to be made, and they were hesitant to make a decision, and more often than not, they made the wrong decision.
Elmore Spencer into the game for George Ackles. And Brown makes them both. You're only talking about fractions of a second as far as decision makers go with the basketball, aren't you?
This is a quick game.
Anderson Hunt's three doesn't fall. Johnson has the loose ball. Johnson fakes the three, pops it back outside for Anthony, who drives the lane and missed it. And Harrison has it. Oh, dunk. Robert Churchwell, 29-24.
John Thompson, being known for man-to-man, has gone to this zone and slowed the game down to his tempo.
Johnson in the lane, and it counts. John Thompson thinks it shouldn't. But it will.
The play a zone defense, John Thompson's Hoyas have to understand. We're playing a zone. You don't let people penetrate through the middle. You see, Larry Johnson, he can put it on the floor, but he's so strong, able to shoot it falling away, trying to complete a three-point play. You can't let people penetrate the middle in any defense, but in a zone, you may have three people instead of two people collapsing on you.
Missed the free throw. Let me correct the score. It's 31-25 now as you see it. I shortchanged the Hoyas by a point last time up court.
Oh, great play.
Speed from Mutombo.
Spencer came out, set the pick. Joey Brown went off the pick, and when Spencer stepped out, Mutombo went to the basket, got it back for the hoop. Now, again, these youngsters are now making the correct play, and they force the action, and that's what you like to see if you're John Thompson.
Georgetown has cut 6 points off of that halftime lead. Johnson, same move, same result.
That was partially blocked.
33-27 UNLV. Georgetown, 19 points in the first half, its lowest of the year. And Morney just drew his fourth foul.
Boy, that is it. That is really a play right there. Got to get him out of the game. There's just no two ways about it.
And John Thompson is really upset with the officials.
All right, it's all inside on Mutombo shoulders now.
Larry Johnson for three.
That's the corner that Morning had been covering. And now with him out of the game, Larry Johnson is able to shoot the ball over Kelly.
UNLV's lead back to 9. And that went out of bounds and another Georgetown turnover. Ronnie Thompson in for Charles Harrison. That's 13 turnovers for the Hoyas. The Rebels have turned it over 8 times.
Got him coming and going now, Greg. He made the jump shot, and now he can take it to the basket.
Just a little bit of shoving between Johnson and Brian Kelly gets the fans excited.
Just saying hello. You can take it.
That's another block for Spencer. And the Rebels are running. Augman. Offensive foul.
Offensive foul, no basket.
We'll take a time out to catch our breath. 15:41 remaining.
There's a thread that runs through our lives. A thread that binds us together. Friendship, family, pride. These are the values that endure. The best things have always been those that last. Chevrolet, the truck that lasts.
The heartbeat of America. Good times with friends, hey, they're special. Sometimes you wish they would never end. The care you show is just special. Friends know when to say when.
The family of Budweiser beers is proud of all the friendships they've helped make. So when they remind you to please use the designated driver, it's all in the name of friendship.
Friends know when to say when.
Division II, it's second to none. The NCAA Division II Basketball Championship next Saturday on CBS Sports.
Yeah. You know, you watch the game and you want to make sure the players are doing the things they need to do. You got to make sure the officials are too. This is a call. I think Kelly is here. And the ball goes in and they don't call the offensive foul. That's the play that gets UNLV going. Larry Johnson gets that basket and he doesn't get a foul. I mean, you make a big turnaround with Georgetown.
Georgetown had it down to 4. UNLV has it back up to 11.
Nice shot by Joey Brown. McGregor, they're working too hard. They're manufacturing shots now. And this is where UNLV gets you.
Augman has his own rebound and goes back up.
What I'm saying is now Georgetown, when they have to work that hard for a shot, then they're too tired to get themselves going on the other end.
Johnson almost had the steal.
They'll get a 5-second call if they're not careful. This is where you get trapped.
And UNLV is playing some tenacious defense right now.
They went in that timeout, and that's one of the things they said. Guys, we got a chance to break them. You can just read it in their face. They are as intended. They've been all game.
Churchwell, turnaround. Doesn't get it. Rebound, Johnson. Anthony fouled by Ronnie Thompson. 14:25 to play, 40-29. Then the field goal percentages reflecting just how these teams have played through the season.
Well, Greg, all of a sudden you can sense that the tempo has started to pick up a bit here. Mourning got his 4th foul, and now they can't get any offensive rebounds. Tark's group can get out, create some turnovers, get themselves some opportunities to take those turnovers and convert them to baskets.
When we talked about UNLV in their pursuit of an unbeaten season, games like this really help a team to refocus, don't they?
It really does, and because, Greg, it gets tougher every time you start to play now. You know you're going to play very good teams. You've got to start honing in on your skills, and you got to take every possession as if it's going to determine the game.
And awaiting UNLV, should they get past Georgetown in Seattle, are Utah, Seton Hall, and Arizona.
Brown, he traveled.
He did travel.
That's the pressure defense. We were talking about the turnovers and how well they handle it.
And now Georgetown going to go to a little full court pressure.
But they got to watch because you got all kind of people that can handle it.
The lob for Augman didn't work.
Thought he was throwing that to Mutombo. He threw that one so high.
Anthony for Johnson. And John Thompson says timeout.
That's a good timeout because you've got to control Anthony because you see what he can do.
My
There are things in this life we can all count on. Qualities that we have come to know and trust. Pride, good friends, and simple, honest values. These are the things we know we can depend on. Chevrolet. The cars more Americans depend on.
Is the Washington Monument on shaky ground? No, but the man who they call the Washington Monument may be. Watch 60 Minutes tonight.
Regional semifinal action begins Thursday night here on CBS at 8 Eastern time. And here's Greg Anthony at work.
Well, what happened is Lamont Morgan gets knocked off, and Anthony takes the ball to the basket, and Johnson finishes it off. This is a crucial time, I think, for the Hoyas, because now UNLV can build themselves, get back in their rhythm. It's up-tempo, and they're out-aggressive defensively.
Quinn Alonzo Mourning is back into the game for Georgetown. He went out at 16:43, and since then, UNLV's been on an 11-2 run. This is Lamont Morgan.
Whoa, did he invent that one? I go right at Mourning as soon as I can.
And travel is called on Anderson Hunt.
You got Mourning with 4 fouls. I get the ball, and I don't care who it is, Larry Johnson, Stacey Augman. I get him out on the court, and I go right after him, get him out of the game. That's Anthony's recognition. He's got to do that.
Three-pointer on the way, Harrison.
Mourning's got to watch out. He got away that time with a little knockdown with Anthony. Anthony did some acting, but the official won't allow that to happen again.
Georgetown within 10. And Anthony really getting physical.
These officials are going to have to watch this because this is starting to get way too aggressive. Anthony's throwing elbows. Joey Brown will not back off of it.
Anthony forced the shot inside. Mourning has the ball. Up ahead, Mutombo got his own rebound.
That's what's called a pass to yourself.
Mutombo has 12.
Exactly. Go right at Mourning.
Spencer shot off the mark, and the foul committed from behind by Lamont Morgan.
Well, you want to get out. First of all, this is a questionable pass. You do not throw the ball to somebody 7'2" from that far. Mutombo knows he's going to miss it. Just followed it in. Mutombo knew he was going to miss it and just followed it. You don't throw the ball to anybody that can't handle it, particularly your center, because he can't put it on the floor. Mutombo got lucky, able to follow that in.
Lamont Morgan out of the game. Robert Churchwell, 6'6" freshman, back into the lineup. For Georgetown, it's Mutombo, Mourning, and 3 freshmen. Spencer behind the back bounce pass. Anthony ends up with it. Johnson for 3. And Churchwell with the ball.
Well, Georgetown just stays in it and fight back.
Mourning. Mourning again. And he'll go to the line. The difference when Alonzo Mourning is in the game, the team with Dikembe Mutombo is evident.
It's the activity that Mourning provides that makes it difficult. You got 2 big bodies. You got to put your biggest person on Mutombo, and then Mourning, being so active, gets a chance to get here where he got the offensive rebound, and now he got fouled.
Jerry Tarkanian was signaling for a timeout. And now he's changed his mind. Alonzo Mourning. to the line. Mourning, a 79% shooter on the season, missed that one.
This is a good substitution. John Thompson getting Mourning out of the game because you can get winded and get your 5th foul. He brings in Brian Kelly. A little more activity, a little more action down on the defensive end. Good substitution by John Thompson.
He loses about 4 inches in height going from Mourning to Kelly. Georgetown, meanwhile, enjoying an 8-point run. Anthony dances down the lane and Mutombo got a piece of it.
Be smart here. You got yourself on a run.
Kelly got the shot off, and it'll be a 2-shot foul. The foul is on Spencer.
You got to regroup him. Jerry Tarkanian's got to figure out a way to regroup him.
And he's calling for the timeout right here. That's 3 personals on Elmore Spencer, and the Rebels want timeout. 11:03 to play. Their lead is 7.
The women's Final Four in 2 weeks.
Nothing beats being a fan. Nothing beats the sound of tears. Nothing beats clean, crisp, and cold. Nothing beats the king of beers. Yeah, nothing. Nothing beats the buzz. Yeah, nothing. Nothing beats the buzz. Nothing. Nothing beats the Budweiser. Ice cold Budweiser. Nothing beats the buzz.
Not long ago, one of the first Lumina sedans was bought by a family of 5. They said they liked the gas mileage, all the room it had, and they liked the price. Since then, the Lumina sedan has quickly become the best-selling new car name in America. Apparently, a lot of people are winning with it.
The heartbeat of America, that's today's Chevrolet.
Now it's easy to win with the heartbeat.
What is the image of a rebel? These are the images of a rebel. Canon's revolutionary autofocus EOS Rebel.
Image is everything.
EOS Rebel from Canon. So advanced it's simple.
In making an artistic statement, one's personal aroma shouldn't do the talking. So I use Right Guard Sports Stick with maximum protection. A true artiste should be known for inspiration, not perspiration. Right Guard Sports Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Just a reminder as we approach 7 in the East, coming up after the game on CBS, except in the West Coast and Mountain time zones, 60 Minutes followed by Murder, She Wrote, and the CBS Sunday movie Blood River. Right now, let's get you back to the game with Greg and Quinn.
All right, Jim, 11:03 to play in the second half. UNLV's lead is 7. Some interesting numbers, Quinn. Georgetown shooting 41% from the floor. UNLV 38%, as Lois Tarkanian can't bear to watch. But the rebounding, Georgetown has out-rebounded the Rebels 28-24.
Well, with Mutombo and Mourning, you expect that to happen. Jerry Tarkanian knew that was going to be a problem. Without George Ackles being in the game, that hurts because Ackles is active, and it's hard for the Georgetown to match up with him, having Johnson and Spencer in the game the way they have it as it's set.
Ackles has his left shoe off on the bench now. Spencer got it in close, couldn't get it down. Kelly has the rebound.
Georgetown's pace. They're in their zone, their matchup zone. Here's where you got to get the ball into Mutombo and then have it swung. Get him at the high post, get the ball, let him swing it to the open side.
Shot clock at 15. And now it's 10. Mutombo.
Oh, he's taking challenge.
Had it blocked, goes back up with the hook.
Greg is taking challenges.
UNLV leads by 4. 14 for Mutombo, along with 6 rebounds and 4 blocks. Johnson's 3 doesn't go.
When I say taking challenges, all of a sudden Mutombo is an offensive player. I saw him doing a little action. He's learned a lot.
60 minutes is next, except for those of you in the Mountain and Pacific time zone. It will be seen at its regularly scheduled time. We have 9.5 minutes to play. Kelly. And now Harrison puts it up. Offensive board doesn't go for Churchwell.
Ball back in their zone. That was a good opportunity. Georgetown let that get away from them. And here's where great teams take advantage.
Spencer missed it inside. Johnson follows.
Because emotionally, Georgetown is a little bit down because they didn't convert on their offensive end, and there's a tendency to try to regroup and you lose your concentration. And that's how Johnson got the offensive rebound.
Alonzo Mourning set to check back in at the first dead ball.
I'd get the ball back to Mutombo, let him fan it.
Kelly almost threw it away from that position last time down court. Good save by Churchwell and back on top. Brown, Harrison, nice fake.
Oh, that's great play by the freshman.
7 points.
That was a shot fake. Talked about the shot fake. When it gets tight, people get a little anxious, and that's what Harrison used.
7 for Harrison. And Johnson for 3. And Mutombo has the loose ball.
Mutombo's logged a lot of minutes. John Thompson's going to have to figure out a way to get Mutombo a rest.
The standing O is for the Hoyas. Georgetown enjoying a 13-2 run. Shot clock at 15. Air ball put up by Churchwell.
He aimed it. Got to shoot it. Man to man. Johnson can take Kelly.
Johnson back outside. Anderson Hunt got it. 3-pointer for Anderson Hunt. 10 for Hunt, 49-42 Rebels.
This zone defense helps Mutombo, Greg. I talked about him getting the break. This is where he can get it. You don't come after the Hoyas, they can rest.
Harrison off to the side. Churchwell, no.
You've got to be kidding me.
Hunt for 2.
A big play. That's 4 points. He got fouled.
The non-whistle has the fans in arms with the exception of the UNLV followers. There have been several questionable calls in this game, or non-calls.
The non-calls can beat you in the game, particularly tight games, as much as the calls that are made.
Brown for 3. And Johnson has the rebound.
They got numbers.
Anthony with the dish. And just like that, the Rebels lead by 11. For the 3rd time today, UNLV has run out to a double-figure lead. Georgetown has come back the other time. Brown.
Whoa, big shot by the young fella. One of the things that happened, Greg, is Mourning was in the game when Georgetown made their run. He's got 4 fouls, has been standing over there trying to get in. There hasn't been any stoppage in the action, allowing UNLV to make some defensive conversions.
We're under 5 minutes to play. Spencer put it up. Didn't get it. Rebound, Georgetown. And still, Mourning sits at the scorer's table.
But if they can get, as long as they can keep it under double digits, and they're better off getting it down the floor with Mourning out, then that keeps them in a good position because you always can go inside to Mutombo and Mourning.
Brown for 3.
Oh, he's still in it.
UNLV in pursuit of a perfect season. Pass inside. And the foul. Let's see who that call is on.
Well,
it's like Brian Kelly.
Well, this is a play right here. There is all kind of contact there. I don't know. It looks as though the official had a tough time to see it because from that angle, camera angle, it's tough to see. There's no question in my mind there was contact there. They converted on the other end, so that's a 4-point swing when it was all, you're looking at a game, they were down 6. They ended up going down 4, a chance to go down 2-4.
We approach 4 minutes for the game. UNLV 31-0. And despite all of the run-ins with the NCAA, Jerry Tarkanian has kept his team focused and intent on repeating as national champion.
One of the 5 times that Georgetown beat UNLV was in the second round when they went for their championship in '84.
Shot by Anderson Hunt, forced it up, and here comes Georgetown.
And Georgetown is the last team that got to the finals, tried to go back and defend that final in 1985.
Inside, Mourning, foul.
You got to shoot that one, Alonzo. You got to shoot it if you get fouled or not.
John Thompson wants a shooting foul. Oh, doesn't get it.
Yeah, he did. Or he gave it to him, and he should have given it to him, Alonzo. But you got to shoot it and give yourself a chance to get a 3-point play.
Foul is on Greg Anthony. That's number 2. Arkansas winner today. You have to think Arkansas is the last team to have seriously challenged UNLV like this.
Well, they challenged them very well in the first half, but UNLV comes out and they explode in the second half. John Thompson and the Hoyas, the youngsters, everybody wanted to know could they handle the pressure. John Thompson is taking the pressure off of them by shortening the game.
Whatever happens in the final 3:16, they've proven they can handle this.
Yeah, they really have. I mean, they have come to, grown up. And as I said, they're first-year players. They're much more experienced. Remember now, Georgetown, and Alonzo Mourning said, he said, yeah, this is a tough game, but we play in the Big East. We play these kind of games every week.
George Ackles back into the UNLV lineup. Will take time with 3:16 to play.
Getting to know you. Getting to know all about you.
Not long ago, Honda and Toyota were known for the highest mileage. But today, there's Geo, the most fuel-efficient line of cars and trucks in America. Get to know Geo at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
Getting to know you.
MetLife manages assets of over $125 billion. When 45 million people count on you for insurance and financial services, you can never be too strong. Get Met. It pays.
Because there are races that last 24 hours. Because there are rallies that last 4 days. There are high-performance tires, Gold Michelins.
Did you know the cost of two 12-page fax transmissions from these Minneapolis newspapers to Chicago may surprise you?
I got an exclusive interview.
With AT&T Pro Watts, your business can't get a more accurate way to send a fax.
He talks a lot.
And our prices are extremely competitive. Even though the other company would like you to believe, they always save you lots of money.
Wait a minute. That's news to me. Can I quote you on that?
AT&T Pro Watts, another AT&T advantage.
This is Harry Smith.
And I'm Paula Zahn. Tomorrow, Robert De Niro. He's starring in a new movie about blacklisting in the 50s.
Plus, Gene Hackman joins us on CBS this morning.
Regional semifinal action begins Thursday night here on CBS at 8 Eastern time in Charlotte. Oh, look at the clubs lined up. Arkansas against Alabama, Kansas against Indiana. And there'll also be action in the West in Seattle. The winner of this game will meet the running youth of Utah, and Seton Hall will play Arizona.
Both of those are great lineups. You know, Utah's got to worry about trying to play against the winner of this game. But Seton Hall, Arizona, Terry Tarkanian knows that if he can escape this game, he's got his hands full in the West.
University of Arizona, a couple of the ball players are here along with Lute Olson as they're watching and observing and waiting. Regional semifinal action begins Thursday night here on CBS at 8 Eastern time in Charlotte. Oh, look at the clubs lined up. Arkansas against Alabama, Kansas against Indiana. And there'll also be action in the West in Seattle. The winner of this game will meet the running youth of Utah, and Seton Hall will play Arizona.
Both of those are great lineups. You know, Utah's got to worry about trying to play against the winner of this game. But Seton Hall, Arizona, Terry Tarkanian knows that if he can escape this game, he's got his hands full in the West.
University of Arizona, a couple of the ball players are here along with Lute Olson as they're watching and observing and waiting.
Came in and took a little victory lap.
There's Lute. His Wildcats, pretty impressive yesterday over BYU. UNLV shooting 38.5% from the floor today. They shot 54 during the regular season.
You're getting a lot of layups. You can shoot 54%.
And that's a blocking foul. Fourth on Joey Brown. And that's number 3 on
him. See, but that's a good foul, because you get right here and you try to get in position. Yeah, I think he was still moving, but what it does is it lets Anthony know that Brown has good anticipation. Next time, that can be a charging foul.
And Ogman will put up the 3, and a good rebound by Mourning. Under 3 minutes for the game. Georgetown trails by 7.
This is a big possession for them, Greg, because what it does is it forces UNLV to go back and try to get a basket to take the momentum away.
Morgan to the baseline, on the run, threw it up and gets the roll.
Now you force UNLV to try to come back and get a basket. And it's tough when you got the big fellas inside, but champions figure out a way to do it.
2:25 to play. No, for the back, Alonzo Mourning is gone.
You don't make that kind of play. You don't reach over anybody's shoulder, and Larry Johnson just got a technical foul.
The warning was issued earlier for taunting, and as soon as Mourning was hit with the foul, Larry Johnson went back at him.
Well, these two play against each other in the summer, and Alonzo is out of position. No chance to get the ball. Anytime you reach over, you get the foul, and see the left hand waving. That's Larry Johnson. The taunting had been warned. They have called a technical foul.
John Thompson's feelings about Alonzo Mourning drawing his fifth. Those are the meetings. Johnson gets the technical. Mourning fouls out with 7 points.
Well, Georgetown was able to sustain and get themselves close without Matambo, without Mourning. But to win it without Mourning is going to be a task that I think is going to be too difficult to overcome.
Larry Johnson shot at 82% from the line during the season. And he adds 2 to UNLV's total. We'll go to the other end now. And freshman Charles Harrison, who shot 78% during the season, will shoot 2.
Well, they got a chance to get these 2 back, plus 2.
Harrison hits them both, and UNLV wasn't watching.
No, this is another one of those times where Jerry Tarkanian has always done. He is more concerned about how his team performs than he is about anybody else. And when you got players that can do the things that they can do on his team, that is a pretty good thought.
5-point UNLV lead. Georgetown with the ball. Coming up on 2:15 for the game.
I stay patient right here for you, Georgetown, and I squeeze the ball until I get a good shot.
Brian Kelly in the lineup for Morning. And he lost the handle.
Too hard. You get that ball in there. He's got somebody wide open. You got a hold here if you're Georgetown.
Brown putting the pressure and grabs Greg Anthony. .137 on the clock. Ronnie Thompson into the lineup for Georgetown. Regional semifinal action both Thursday and Friday. The Southeast and the West on Thursday. The Midwest and the East on Friday.
And you can expect to see games like this the entire tournament, Greg. You know, we've had Michigan State and Utah double OT. And we got Vegas and UNLV in here. And they're struggling. They're fighting for their lives here against this young Georgetown team.
We talked about the teams in the Southeast and the West. Ohio State, St. John's, Connecticut, and Duke will come out of the Midwest. And out of the East, North Carolina, Eastern Michigan, Oklahoma State, and Temple. And there's Lois Tarkanian. Greg Anthony, 5 out of 5 from the line so far. Missed that one. Ronnie Thompson has it. A minute and a half to play. 6-point lead for UNLV.
They've got to score on this possession.
Three-pointer. Harrison missed it.
Yeah, you can't come down and take that shot. I mean, that's the first time I've seen the freshmen really show their youth right there. The reason you had to score, you were looking at a 2-possession situation, and now you've got a foul because you got a veteran team. Remember now, this group is a veteran in a lot of ways. The youngest player on their team starting is Anthony at 22 years old.
And the whistle here. And the foul, we want to remind you, is the Washington Monument on shaky ground? No, but the man who they call the Washington Monument may be. Watch 60 Minutes, followed by Murder, She Wrote, and the CBS Sunday movie, Blood River. Joey Brown fouls out of this game with 7 points and played a terrific floor game.
Well, he really did. This is a great experience for the young players, but without Joey Brown in the game, I don't think you have the kind of control of the basketball in your flow because he's your point guard, knowing your system very well.
Now, United brings you the new World's Fair. Low fares to almost anywhere United and United Express fly. $69 to $159 to anywhere in the continental U.S. Hawaii from $149. Plus great low fares to Europe and Asia. Buy your ticket by April 8th and travel between now and May 19th. Seats are limited and significant restrictions apply. So call your travel agent or United now for our new World's Fair. Come fly the friendly skies.
The Xerox Total Satisfaction Guarantee is one of the 10 most significant events in the history of the plain paper copier industry.
Significantly better than that of any of its competitors.
The Xerox Total Satisfaction Guarantee.
When you put together better products and services, you can put together a better guarantee.
A consumer's dream. Putting it together.
Faxing, scanning, copying, printing. Xerox, the document company.
There's a thread that runs through our lives. A thread that binds us together. Friendship, family, pride. These are the values that endure. The best things have always been those that last. Chevrolet, the truck that lasts.
In the tropics, there are two kinds of heat, love and danger. Sweating Bullets premieres Monday, April 8th on CBS Late Night. It's too hot to sleep.
Welcome back to Tucson. Greg Gumbel, Quinn Buckner, and Leslie Visser. The McHale Center on the campus of the University of Arizona. 60 seconds remain. UNLV leads it by 6. And Greg Anthony to the free throw line.
1-1. Number 50, Greg Anthony.
$14 points for Greg Anthony.
Here, John Thompson's got to figure out, come down and get a quick hoop, and then you got to foul. And the person that you want to foul, if you can, is Spencer.
Anthony hit them both for an 8-point lead for UNLV. Ronnie Thompson off the baseline, overshot it. Loose ball picked off by Morgan, rejected by Johnson. Mutombo.
And you got to foul. You got to foul.
Anthony.
He's trying to get him up. You got to get it up. You got to foul. He's got a 4-point,
under a half minute now. And Mutombo fouls Larry Johnson. That's 3 on Dikembe Mutombo. 25.4 remain.
We talked about whether or not UNLV can make these foul shots. They got to revert back a little bit. They got a 4-point lead, a 6-point lead here right now with 25 seconds to go. They've got to start making these foul shots. They're going to be in games like this from now on. And this is when you get the test of the metal. Can you stand up to this kind of pressure? But I tell you, this is when it's fun. This is the best time of the game.
You saw Jerry Tarkanian on the sideline. Lots of talk this week about whether or not he'd be moving on to the NBA, whether or not he would continue at UNLV. And there is another lane violation by Mutombo.
Greg, I think he's coming back. And I've heard all the talk, but I think Jerry Tarkanian will come back and coach. Because quite frankly, and he said he doesn't have many other hobbies. What he really likes is college basketball. You go to the next level and you got to worry about the salary cap and all those kind of things. I'm not sure he wants to be bothered with that.
Johnson 2, 60 to 52, UNLV. Kelly, rejected by Spencer. And the foul is on Harrison.
You see some celebration because they know they have dodged a big bullet here. But I'll tell you what, when you talk about teams going undefeated, you've got to be a little bit lucky. You've got to not get people injured or out for any prolonged period of time. The most serious injury they had, as a rule, is Ackles with his, forefoot.
Our Chevrolet most valuable players for today: Dikembe Mutombo for Georgetown, Elmore Spencer for UNLV, who came on and filled a big role for George Ackles, who did not play full-time today. And among his exploits today, Elmore Spencer chalked up 6 block shots.
He did, Greg, and I thought it was great. But I want to tell you something. This tells the opposition that UNLV is not beatable, and in a one-game series, anything can happen.
Final seconds ticking away. And with 1 second to play, UNLV will inbound the ball.
They came out of it like a champion. They put it on when they had to. That's a sign of a winner. And you see in that latest, Jerry Tarkanian.
UNLV goes to 32-0. They have won 43 straight, and they continue their push to repeat as NCAA champions. For Quinn Buckner and Leslie Visser, I'm Greg Gumbel. UNLV a winner. Let's send you back to New York and Jim Nance.
All right, Greg, thank you. On to Seattle for the Runnin' Rebs. A great effort today by Georgetown. Folks, we'll see you Thursday and Friday night with doubleheaders each night, the regional semifinals, and coming up next, except on the West Coast, 60 Minutes. For all of us at CBS Sports, I'm Jim Nance. Thanks for being with us on the road to the Final Four.